share my screen. Hey, Thomas, what's up? Welcome, everyone. Thomas, did you mean to put your hand up, or feel free to go ahead if you did?
No, sorry. Wait a second, I'm just walking.
Oh, okay, no problem. Yeah, everyone, welcome again to this week's meeting. We don't have anything on the agenda, so happy to talk about anything if you want. I had been kind of wondering if we want to make this bi-weekly so we have a bit more to talk about, and maybe extend to an hour if there's not enough for bi-weekly. So if anyone has strong opinions of that, I'm all ears. I can talk about some stuff if no one else, just kind of updates on development side if there's nothing anyone wants to discuss or talk about.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, the main thing, I mean, there hasn't been much on the agent gateway data plane side itself, but one of the feedbacks that we've gotten, well, I've also given it myself, is that we've kind of been a little bit held back by K-Gateway on two different levels. One is that we do some cool stuff in Agent Gateway, but then it takes a while, or it's hard, or we even can't expose it in K-Gateway. And the other thing is that we kind of designed Agent Gateway to be a data plane for K-Gateway. So there's some things that we maybe wanted to do, but we kind of held back or have been kind of trying to think it through more because we weren't sure how to expose it on K-Gateway. So it's kind of both directions are kind of slowing things down. So we're looking into making some changes that's going to make all those issues go away, hopefully, and kind of decouple us from, really the problem is because K-Gateway is both an Envoy and an Agent Gateway data plane, it becomes a bit more tricky than if it was just Agent Gateway control plane standalone, where we would do whatever we needed. So we're looking into making some changes to make it go more in that direction, which hopefully should give a much better experience for Agent Gateway, let us develop more features that we need faster without kind of the baggage that we were kind of dealing with before. So not exactly sure the fine-grained details what that's going to look like yet, still working through that, but I'm pretty hopeful that this will be a good change overall.
I was wondering if that would make it easier to configure like authorization policies and all of the stuff through the control plane, like the stuff that you're working on.
Yeah, definitely. Like one of the goals is the one that we can make. All of our decisions have now nothing to do with how Envoy works or whatnot. It's just what is the best way for a user to configure Agent Gateway, and then we can go build an isolation. So I think it's both easier for us to develop new features because we have less to deal with. Like it's pretty hard to make an API that works for two different data planes, for example. And also then if we add MCP external authorization, for example, is something that I think you were interested in, Thomas. It's very clear, where that will go, I think. And so, we have to go to, there's still some hard part on the data plane side of implementing that, but once we implement that, exposing it through K-Gateway should be much faster and not kind of slow things down probably.
Cool. And what is the kind of direction for that? It's because we have different languages, right? We cannot just compile things as one, reusing it on library level. We must do it different way, right? So are you going to introduce abstraction on kind of CRD additional level, or?
Yeah, so we're looking to making, right now we share the same CRDs with Envoy and K-Gateway. So we're looking into making an Agent Gateway specific CRD.
Yeah, I think that would make things easier and clear, a contract between two, right?
Yeah, the other thing is
much easier to go in different speed and different.
Exactly. Yeah, especially if we need to make breaking changes. For example, Agent Gateway is right now slightly lower stability level because it's rapidly iterating and AI space changes all the time. Yeah, also I've focused on the development side.
I could imagine just two ways of doing it. One way of just doing separate CRD, another way rewriting the K-Gateway in Rust, but it's more extreme.
Yeah, we had thought about, we didn't think about rewriting in Rust, but splitting it out. Nothing at all has been decided on any of this, but tentatively I didn't think it would the fact that they're in the same bundle project didn't seem to hurt too much. So it helps a bit of like not having to recreate all like the machinery and whatnot.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but hopefully as well, like I talked about velocity, which is important, but also for users, it's kind of confusing. You have like the field and it's like, oh, this one works with Envoy, this one works with Agent Gateway. And you have to like try and kind of guess which one's which. So now it should be a lot more clear. Like you have this CRD, every single field.
Exactly. Yeah. So I think it will be even for testing and for everything else, it will be much, much cleaner. Yeah. Cool.
All right. Yeah, if there's no other
I've seen your post about like adopters and other stuff. You mentioned that you're looking for some adopters for Agent Gateway, Key Gateway, right? And
yeah, on both sites we have a list of adopters that you can like put your logo of like companies that are using the project.
And which level of adopters you kind of interested to see there? Because we are not at the moment we are not like using it or not yet adopted properly, but we are looking into it. So like what stage of adoption is something that
I mean, I would think any of them really. Like at this point, we're trying to kind of build some credibility to the project that like, hey, look, people are actually using this. It's not just throwaway.
I know it's needed also for CNCF point of view. They want to see like this kind of things and happening as soon as possible. So okay.
Yeah, I know like on the Istio, which has hundreds of thousands of adopters or whatever, like we have kind of like a list of I think anyone can join, but then we have like case studies of like the real serious adopters, but we're not close to that yet.
No.
So at this point, anyone that's using it or exploring it and willing to put their name, I think would be helpful.
Yeah, we for Istio, no issue. We are using it everywhere. I think the idea was actually with all the shift towards AI and MCP and all of that, introduce Agent Gateway into our kind of deployments as well. So we currently looking on what options do we have and things like that. Yeah.
I had a topic I just wanted to discuss a bit about like MCPification of REST APIs. So assuming like you have multiple REST APIs behind your multiplex endpoint, and if they use like different methods of authentication, right? Like, is there some token exchange mechanism that we should think about building in the gateway? For example, like in the gateway itself, if you're using one method of authentication that's different from like the backend side. So we are exploring, MCPification of REST APIs, and we're just thinking about how to build this out. And one of the issues that we have is like the backend APIs, use their own authentication method that's different from like how we want to authenticate into gateway.
Yeah, so is this like your client authenticates to the gateway, but then you may need to get like a token for GitHub and Atlassian or whatever?
Or our internal APIs, basically.
Internal, and it's different for each backend.
And it could be different for each backend, yeah.
Yeah, there's an issue about this. Trying to find it that has some recent activity as well on what this could look like, and I think it seemed to kind of drive towards similar direction that it sounded like you were thinking. Okay, here we go. I found it, but I lost my window. Okay, here we go. So that might be like it's still in the discussion design phase. There's nothing right now. What we have access to is you can attach a static key to a specific backend, but not do an exchange. So that issue is talking about more exchange flows and what that might look like.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, but what you said, it's far from the first time I've heard that. So it's definitely something we're thinking about.
Okay, nice.
I have just maybe one question. Was attending today some conference here in Prague. It's a kind of Google and everything around DevFest, and had an interesting discussion about MCP. That's like gateway, agent gateway kind of approach to MCP. It's kind of like still patching the initial problem of authorization, that it should be part of protocol and things like that. Do you agree or disagree? Is it like the permissions and everything that we have implemented on the agent gateway, right? When you have the policy and stuff like this, is it something that should go deeper and should be part of protocol itself, maybe? Especially like when you give a read-only permission and then write permission on the specific MCP, should it be part of kind of like MCP protocol itself eventually, or it always be on the gateway side?
I mean, there could be some things that make sense in the protocol itself potentially, but I do think there's always value in having something in between, right? Like even outside of MCP, for example, like I have a client and I have a server. I don't necessarily trust the client. I don't necessarily trust the server fully, right? So I want to be able to enforce policies against them.
Right.
So like, maybe I, as a third-party cluster admin, am like forcing anything leaving the cluster needs to go through my gateway, and I want to make sure you're not leaking my PII, or maybe I'm making sure you're doing only read operations or whatever policies, right? So I feel like there's nothing at the protocol level that can be done there, because I can't trust the server to tell me to only do read-only stuff, and I can't trust the client to only do read-only stuff, right? So we really need like this third party here acting.
But that's like authorization when you have a trust. But if you simply want to reduce a list of tools to a subset, right? Like, and
yeah.
I think that could be a part of protocol potentially, because it's a common case, right? When you want to only like similar way. I think right now many people solving this by adding a flag to the MCP server. You have some kind of startup flags saying read only, and then half of the tools are just not going on, right? And if this will be part of kind of protocol that you can basically use different URL and different sub domain or something, in that URL or something like this, so it will make it much easier.
Yeah, there actually is kind of some of this. There's like annotations, I think they're called, on tools. That one of them's like read only. I don't think they have arbitrary key value pairs though, which seems a bit odd. But like, I think even today you could have the server returns, here's all my tools, and the client can filter them out if they say I only want the read only ones, for example. Which is kind of similar to a distinct.
Yeah, I understand. So you basically say just label it, mark it, label it, and then you can have a much.
Yeah. That being said, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know any client supports that.
It's actually a good idea. Yeah, it's a good idea.
I had thought about adding that into Agent Gateway itself, so you don't have to list the tools, but say you can access the read-only ones. But it just got a little bit complicated because at tool list time we have the full definition, but tool call time we don't. And today we don't store the list definition, like we don't store the definition in the list. So.
I got it. Yeah. So it's a stateless, and then it needs to be.
Yeah,
but it's I think it's relatively simple to implement with kind of filter. Yeah. Okay, great.
I think that annotation thing is pretty new in the last spec, so maybe hasn't been broadly adopted yet.
Yeah, today was a very interesting thing. We have a workshop, and some people came to see the MCP, how to create MCP with Gemini, and I've seen a person who never heard about MCP in his life. That was a little bit like interesting to see how this technology is spread and how much it's like
Yeah, I did not. I mean, I don't think a year ago MCP even existed. So.
Right. It was. I think it's like 1 year of it. Yeah, exactly. Cool. I don't have anything else. If you're okay, probably we can conclude the call soon. I don't know.
Okay, sounds good. See you all. Thanks for joining. Catch you next time.
See you.
Folks.
Thank you. Bye.